What is the Legion of Mary? The Legion of Mary is an international organization, a lay apostolate of the Catholic Church. The Legion of Mary has been approved by every pope, from Pope Pius XI to Pope Benedict XVI, has given specific papal approval to the Legion of Mary. The missionary work of the Church has shifted gears since the Second Vatican Council, and the Council called for an increased participation of the laity in the Church's missionary work. So the Legion of Mary, although it did start in the 20s, continues to be a response to that call to the laity to be involved in the missionary work of the Church. So the Legion of Mary is an organization modeled on the Roman Legion. In terms of the structure, we have the head of the Legion of Mary, the head council, which is called the Concilium, and that's in Dublin, Ireland. So everybody ultimately reports to the Concilium, and I believe in the Roman Legion that was also the head group of the Legion. Now, under the Concilium, we have various Senatus groups. We have, in Canada, we have the Toronto Senatus, and as a Regia, we report to the Toronto Senatus. The Senatus is dealing mostly with administrative tasks, but also does give guidance to the actual work of the Presidium. So the councils do have a spiritual role. They each have a spiritual director and host regular meetings, but the actual work of the Legion is done at the lowest level, which is the Presidium level. And the Presidium, each Presidium is attached to a parish. So the work of the Presidium, or the Presidia, varies quite a bit, and the discretion is left to the Presidia to pick the type of work that they want to do, decide, if it's door-to-door that they'd like to do, or door-to-door evangelization. That's what the Legion of Mary is about. I mean, it is about evangelization. First and foremost, the primary object of the Legion is the sanctification of its members. But after that is, as I mentioned, the missionary work of the Church, which is evangelization, bringing the gospel to the world, and trying to bring everybody into the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. How is the Legion relevant today? The Legion is relevant today because as I was mentioning, the missionary work of the Church has shifted gears. Because of some currents in theology, there's been sort of some questioning about, how necessary is it to make everyone a Catholic, or to bring everyone into the Catholic Church for salvation? In the past, you had missionaries that would leave the comforts of Europe and go out into Canada before it was Western civilization took root in Canada, and you had the Canadian martyrs who gave their lives, but they endured all sorts of pretty nasty conditions in order to try and convert souls, to baptize them so that they might be saved. So that started to be the sort of bare minimum for salvation started to be questioned, I would say, maybe around the time of the Second Vatican Council, and because people were questioning the necessity of membership in the Catholic Church for salvation, which the Church has never ceased to teach. But because of that, there was a questioning of, okay, missionary work. I mean, do we still need to do things the way that we've been doing them? And because of that, a lot of the missionary orders ceased to kind of operate the way they once did. For instance, the Redemptorists, for instance, would do parish missions, perhaps each Lent, and it was normal that in a parish that you might see, you might have a mission given by missionary monks, or starting some sort of mission, building a school or something like that. So the focus of missionary work has kind of changed. And a lot of the focus on sort of the temporal needs of the people being served are, that's sort of taken precedence. So, what, and the actual evangelization or the conversion of souls, sadly has taken a bit of a backseat. So, I would say the Legion is relevant today because the church needs the support of the laity, even simply from a numbers perspective, that we don't have. I mean, monasteries are having trouble finding monks, and and the seminaries trouble finding seminarians. So it's fallen to the laity to carry on the work of spreading of the gospel. So that's where the Legion of Mary comes into play.